What's going on, Flyers fans? Welcome in to Clear the Ice Flyers postgame show here at Edge of Philly Sports. I'm Big Al Zafiri alongside with Big Mike Lara. A lot of big guys in the house tonight, boys. But big win is the big we need to talk about tonight. This is a big win. We talked about this gauntlet a lot, Mike, and we're going to talk a little bit about it so far. And I'm not trying to, get super excited about anything just yet, but you have to be excited looking at this week lined up, getting into this third game, being, you have two wins and one tie. You got to earn a point in one game, or not tie, OT win. Earning that 1 point last Thursday night. So far, pretty happy with no matter how tomorrow turns out. But like I said, Flyers turn a big win against Boston at Wells Fargo, 3-2 victory. Mike, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? I'll tell you what, man. I said jokingly the other night when me and Maddie did when we did Clear the Ice after the Tuesday game, and I was like, I said, they're going to go 4-0, just joking, of course. But, they pick up a big win against Toronto. They had their chances against Carolina, but they pick up a huge point net. Now today they beat a very good Boston Bruins team, and I'll tell you what, now they got Florida coming in tomorrow. So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, if they win 3 out of 4 games and get an overtime loss, I mean, you're looking at 7 huge points against the top-tier teams, really, in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and you're looking at this going, man, they could easily go 0-4 and really drop down into playoff options. Steve chiming in, let's effing go. Farser is a sniper. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Oh, I thought that meant long friggin' game.
Yeah, right. Well, it felt like that if you watch the first two periods. Jamie, what's going on, love? How you doing? Terry, how you doing? What's going on? Thank you for joining in. But like I said, guys, if you're just joining us, Flyers won in regulation. By the way, this is the second time the Bruins lost 2 games back-to-back in regulation since December.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of big things on this one. So, and there's a lot of little nuances in this game that we're going to talk about. We'll get into the scoring in the moment. But before we get into any of that, I have to tell you guys, let's talk about Sherry'sTickets.com. That's right, Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Sherry'sTickets.com is the best place to get your tickets because you're not going to get bamboozled at checkout. The price you see on the screen is the price you'll pay. And with that all being said, you could save an additional 10% off by using that great promo code EOP10. That's right, EOP10 will save you 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com. That's, again, great prices, no hidden fees. You won't get bamboozled, and you'll save an additional 10% off with that great promo code EOP10, Sherry'sTickets.com. I kind of feel like it's weird when we do things together, and I can't hear you say EOP10, but since I can't see you, I can't line you up. You know what I mean? But we'll give it to you guys again tomorrow morning on PM and the AM. But we'll talk about all that. But like I said, 3-2 Flyers, big victory. Here's your lines. First part, 2 games. Coots is back. It's good to see him back. But on the 4th line, might I add, because one of the nuances I want to talk about. Here's your first line tonight: Forrester, Paling, and Hathaway. Line 2 is Tippett, Frost, Konechny. Line 3, Farabee, Lawton, Brink. Big line, by the way. They did some things on that line that may not show up on the stat sheet. We'll talk about stat sheet that we'll talk about shortly. And then of course Cates, Couturier, and Lysol. Lysol? Is it Lysol or Lysol? Whatever. Lysol. And then the defense, you have York, Sanheim, Ginning, Attard, and Zamula and Johnson, who has been kind of making it. That was there was a big moment for him. He created some big moments that the Flyers could capitalize. This could have been a kind of a runaway game with some of the missed opportunities. But like I said, the game was kind of a little sleeper, right? Like it wasn't a lot of offense.
Neither team could get their legs going the first couple periods, man. They looked like they were running in mud. I thought Sam Erickson played very well today. Was it Yolmark or Yolman or Yolmark? He's the reigning Vezina Trophy winner, and yet to have him, Erickson really kind of went blow for blow with him today, and Erickson looked good, man. He had a couple really, really good saves. especially early
Yeah,
on.
Sam Harrison played a hell of a game, and we're getting to him after we cover some of the first part of the. Like I said, it was a lack of offense. First period, nothing to even talk about offensively, and actually, total 11 shots on goal per team. Oh, I mean not per team, altogether, both teams. 6 to Boston, 5 to Philly. So really, not many opportunities when chances were there, but it was very minimal all the way up into the end of the second period. It took all the way through almost 2 periods before anybody lit the lamp, Mike. And that lamp first got lit by Travis Konechny for his 29th goal in the season.
That wasn't pretty, but it went in.
I'm going to break this one down. As we're exactly on the same page on that one. Lawton centers this to Forster, who looked like he was trying to gun another one on this one. This one looked like he was trying to get a laser, but a little over the top of the puck. It looks like the butt of the stick kind of hits the puck, and it's kind of sails to the left of, the right of the net. But Konechny happens to be in the right place at the right time, and I think everybody got fooled on that. Tyson Forster, every Boston Bruin on the ice at that point, and then Travis Konechny being the opportunist to take the 1-0 lead for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they kind of caught Boston sleeping too. They got to kind of give them kudos. They kind of before that they were kind of they had that Boston defense running around a little bit, and like I said, it was like kind of a 2 knuckleballs. Like the first one was a knuckleball, then Forster. Like his shot was a knuckleball, and then even Konechny was the same thing.
Yeah. And like I said, another thing to take away from it was a power play goal, and I think it was the first power play goal in like all the power plays against Boston this year. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, it's a power play goal nonetheless. It was funny because it was I even heard the announcers talking like this power play at the end of the second is important for Philly for both teams. Like, it could be a game changer, and it ends to be that way for Philadelphia. But let's bring this to the third for a moment. So about halfway, a little more than halfway through the third period, Justin Brazeau decides to tie this game up with a backhand shot with a ton of traffic in front of that net. Between him, Coyle, and Loret, just able to cause mass chaos.
Charlie Coyle had a great pass to Brazeau. I call him Brazeau. Brazeau, same difference.
Yeah, God bless you.
But you got to give the kid credit, man. He came into the game on a 3-game goal scoring streak, and he just tucked it right behind Eriksson's leg, and it was a beautiful goal. It really was.
Steve's chiming in here. Let's take some time to appreciate being down our second string goalie, our 9th and 10th defenseman, our captain refinding his way, and yet break 2 long losing streaks against quality teams. Very, very good point. Very good point. I mean, you got no Carter Hart. He's out of the picture. You got Sam Harrison, who's playing well for the most part. Had a couple clunkers. I'm sure he'd love to get back. Even Sandstrom, when he plays, is holding his own. Defensively, we have very porous, and a big win against Boston. This one's going to stick in their craw a little bit because of all the games they should have won against Philly this year. It probably on paper should have been this one, Mike.
Probably. I mean, if you take a look at it, just look at the game a week ago. I think the Flyers took a lot out of that game, even though they lost. They kind of took in. I think after that game, they Tortorella probably said to them, "Hey, look, you can hang with this team. You are now. Granted, we know they're not as good, but I'm pretty sure he said, "Hey, we're going to see them again." And you know what? You gave them a fight here. You know what I mean? So, tip to the cap to the Fly guys today, man. They came out. I felt like they carried the play for the majority of the game. There was certain pockets where Boston was kind of showing how good they were, but especially I believe that was second period when they were inside the Flyers zone for like almost 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was a crazy shift for those guys, but again, Eriksson bailed them out.
Yeah, and Steve's chiming in here. I don't think there's anyone in the city that would have blamed this team for folding, but TK Buy-in is a big reason we are here. And he's not going to lie. Steve sticks to his guns. He says, I wanted him gone. A lot of people wanted Travis Konecny gone. Thought maybe they could grab something for TK and bolster the future. And this didn't see TK as part of this future. But and that would be it for like I said, that would be the first goal. Ties this game up. And you went from, like I said, barely getting one goal in the first two periods. In the third period, just like
what's up with Flyers and Bruins in third periods?
Yeah, it's like an offensive onslaught. But do you know what the one thing I could point out that's a lot different here? And I think Philly may have heard it enough, and we've talked about this. This team gets very I don't want to say complacent. They play on their back of they play off the back of their skates a little bit when they're up. They tend to play conservative hockey when they're on power plays or in trying to just kill time. And I think that's bit them in the butt against good teams lately over the last few, say month or so. And I think today, this afternoon, or whatever you want to say, shows me that they kind of learned that lesson a little bit. Like, don't be conservative. Sometimes you got to come out hard, and that's what Boston wanted to do, and they kept them off. They kept some big names like Pastrnak at bay today, and like you said, and Steve said, this team was down a lot of big, especially defensive players, and ultimately,
and they flustered Marchand today too. If you watch Marchand, they got to him early, and I think with him getting that penalty in the first period set him the rest of the game because he was really kind of a non-factor. And usually when it's kind of like waking the bear with him. Like it can either go two ways. It can either go the way it went today, or it can rejuvenate him, I guess you could say, like he gets going. But he does that more at home. If you were to get under his skin and that would have happened and it was up in Boston, he would have that place, he would be rejuvenated in a positive way. Because it was on the road, he just went south, man. And he wasn't really he was really kind of a non-factor. Although him and Lawton got into some words. I don't know if you saw that, Al.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, they were he had to stick behind Lawton's head saying something. So
I'm reading on the screen. It says Flyers first win against Bruins since October of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, just shows you the tides are turning, and it's going to keep, guys, this young team hungry. Maybe we don't care. Maybe we want to poke the Bruin a little bit. Keep poking them. Let's see what they make them earn it.
Look at it this way. If they win tomorrow, which by the way, too, I know they got to play Florida tomorrow. Florida's a great team, but Florida's got a battle tonight. Florida plays the Rangers tonight at 8:00, which means they're not getting to town till probably somewhere in the AM. So by the time they get ready to face off, they may have some tired legs tomorrow too, as well.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I think it's what time's the game tomorrow? Like
7.
Yeah, so they got some time to rest, but not as much as the Flyers to
Flyers,
kind of recoup.
right.
And the Flyers get to sit together as a team and watch them play tonight and see what they have. Do a little scouting themselves. But like I said, hey, Mike, sometimes things in life happen. In big, sometimes not great things, and you get hurt at work. Car accident, motor vehicle, personal injury, all that kind of stuff. And you need a good lawyer. And sometimes it's hard to know which one's the good ones. We can tell you guys which one's the good ones. David Archeri is the great one, the man, the myth, the legend. David Archeri, 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Sign up now. Check them out. Talk to them on the phone at 610-565-0300. Or go to work for all your workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, and criminal law needs. cherryinjurylaw.com. And also, Mike, I know
the EOP sent you too.
Yeah, tell me EOP sent you. And also, with the Phillies season starting in less than a week now, and we'll be on the finals. You'll be seeing our face once. It's gonna be like, oh, I'm tired of looking at these guys. But hey, guess what? We'll be bringing you the Fightins final. And we want to welcome in our newest sponsor to the final, the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar at 5400 Fern Boulevard in Drexel Hill, PA 19026. And we also will be in-house for a couple of those finals. With the first one will be on April 7th, pre and post game for your Fightins final. They'll be taking on the Nationals. So come down to the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar. Great food, great drink. What a beautiful place. And if the weather is good and is ready to go on April 7th, we will be outside on the beautiful deck at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar Holiday Inn and Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center, 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel, PA. But you'll also be hearing a lot about these guys moving forward in the Fightins final. So I want to mention them because
I'm looking forward to that, believe it or not.
Yeah, I want to get everybody knowing what's going on before.
Yeah, come on out and see us if you're local.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not local, make the ride. We're worth the trip.
Exactly.
At this point, we're probably good enough to take anyone 6 games and maybe even 7. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit about, playoffs and all that stuff, Steve. But, I mean, I think any team that has to play us, even if they win, it's going to make a hard next round for them. Hard next round.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely. There's my favorite Bostonian, Insanio. Good game, Insanio. He said, "Sup, fellas? Bruins lose. Round 1 again." That's a Bruins fan talking for you there, man. He's pretty straightforward, too, when it comes to them. I think they're going to win more than a round.
I don't think they're going to hold that. Yeah.
They're too good. They're too good. I think they got to atone, too, for last year. They can't – if they go back-to-back years going out in the first round, man, that would be you'd see a lot of people up there going.
Boston would riot. Boston would totally riot. But let's give them another reason to riot. So, game's tied at 1-1. We're in the third. We're only about we're halfway through the third at this point. You're like, all right, this is going to be, this is going to go to overtime. The way the scoring is coming not very frequently at this point. You're like, what are we going to do? TK does it again, my friend. Number 30 on the year. By the way, he matches his goals and assist stats already for what he did in last year, in this year, with this 30th goal of the year. Puts the Flyers up 2-1. Morgan Frost drops the puck off to Konechny, and he just blasts this thing home. It's the 30th goal of the game, or 30th goal of the season for him, and second goal in the game. And assists come from Frost and Tippett. What do you got for me on this one, Mike Lauro?
Owen Tippett. I thought Owen Tippett really made this play. He was able to use his speed, get down on that wing where he was able to get it over to Frost, and it was kind of a tic-tac-toe, boom, boom, boom. And next thing you know, Konechny's got his 30th on the season. I'll tell you what, this is a good sign because now the puck's starting to go in the net for Konechny, where, probably the last 6 weeks or so, he was kind of missing. So it all started Thursday night. He's starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm here, scoring. So it could probably help the Flyers going forward. And it's good. It's good he's starting to get out of his funk a little bit.
Absolutely. But it would not take more than a minute, a little bit more than a minute for Boston. And it just felt like, come on. Can we just get one over on these guys?
Yeah, Heinen, again, he's the guy who scored the game winner a week ago. He's the guy who came down the wing and scored a week ago. He ties it at the 16-12 mark. Again, beautiful. It was a beautiful play, man. It really was.
Beautiful for Boston. Not very pretty for the Flyers defense on this one. Flyers definitely caught sleeping in the zone on this one.
If you take a look at that play, you got to give the kid Geeky for Boston a lot of credit. When he came down, he kind of peeked.
We're all geeks in Boston as far as I'm concerned, but let's not get caught up in details.
But he does kind of a peek over his shoulder, and he sees, Henyu coming down the wing, and then he just turns back to his right and throws a laser right on his tape. And there was really nothing Erickson can do, man.
Charles, thank you for smashing that like button. Anybody else checking out, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is you're watching on, please. It helps us out.
So like I said, it was good, and then that becomes a tie game. And then what can I say? The kid with probably the most deadliest accuracy on this team, Tyson Forster.
And some power behind that puck, man. He can really knock it home. Tyson Forster just making his presence felt continually. There is one that hit off the pole, off the iron, and it rang throughout the Wells Fargo Center earlier. It might have got lodged in there if it was any harder.
Al Morganti during in between periods, he called it a 10 hole because it went through the 5 hole twice. It went in, and they came back out the same way. So it's like, whew.
But with only about a minute and a half left in the game, came at great timing. Paling and Forrester were just passing that puck back and forth on the rush, and he came right from the circle and just blasted a laser to that top left-hand corner. I mean, just tucked it in right in the corner there. Perfect spotting for just a pure laser, with the assist coming from Paling, of course, and was enough to put it home 3-2 and enough to put this game away. Mike, your thoughts?
It was a hard-fought win, and isn't it funny what Paling, right? He wears the number 25. Who's he remind you of? Who was the number 25 that always used to get under everybody's skin? And Sean Podine, man. He reminds you of Sean Podine. Your mic's muted, Mal. Your mic.
Hold on.
There you go. We got you.
Sorry. I was not going there. I didn't think that was where you're going with it, but yeah, no.
That's who he reminds me of, man. He's always around the action. He can put the puck in the net if need be. He's like Podine with a little more speed. That's what he reminds me of.
Charles, all the way from Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm jealous. This dude's Charlie's sitting down there on the beach watching us. And the
sipping drinks. Philadelphia Flyers needed this win today to keep pace in the wild card race. Not to keep pace just in the wild card race, but keep pace in the top three in the division. And just to keep pace with when we were talking about, I'm going to throw this up on the screen, not just so much as an advertisement for us, but as what we've been doing all week and looking with this Flyers going on again. Big win against the Leafs where you were able to break all that down with Matty B. And then, of course, the Hurricanes, it was, they were able to keep it, tie the game up, and drive overtime, but get that point. And then today, I should say this afternoon, another 2 points. And tomorrow with the Panthers. Just looking at these 4 games this week in a nutshell, again, this could have easily been 0-4. Easily been 0-4. And would you have been shocked or surprised?
No. But I mean, you got a good chance right now to go 3-1 or 3-0-1. Like, and like I said, Florida's got, they got a battle tonight. They got to play the Rangers, and the Rangers are right there now. So it's not just the Bruins that's ahead of them. It's the Bruins, Florida, the Rangers. Hold on. I'm just going to take a look right here in the Eastern Conference real quick. You have Boston with 97, Florida with 94, Rangers with 96, Carolina with 95. They're all within that. They're all right there. So you figure going back, looking at this now, man, with the Flyers being at 81 points right now, they're holding their ground, man. They're holding their ground, and it was a good win today. It was a good win. It's the only way I can put it.
Listen, it was an absolutely great win today. And listen, any time you could beat Boston in Philadelphia, it's it's just amazing. And remember, the Flyers are also 2-0 on the Panthers this season. They could be going for the Panthers sweep.
Can you imagine that? The team that's fighting for the President's Trophy, and they're going to be 0-3 against the Flyers.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that would be something where if that was a matchup, that could, be psyche. Like Jim Jackson said it on telecast too. He said the Flyers are basically, I think, what did he say? Like 6 minutes, all but 6 minutes. It's been competitive hockey. He said Boston had 2 spurts in the first 2 games.
Yeah, no,
he said other than that, the Flyers were right there with them.
Yeah, no, listen, this team has been playing very well, and this is all you could ask for at this time, and being ready going into the playoffs, just any chance they have to make any noise, you got to keep playing the way they're playing. Like that's just has to be kind of how you look at things. Daniel, what's going on, brother? And as long as we don't have another gauntlet letdown, we are in a nice spot.
Well, Steve, you really can't look at this as a letdown. They got 2 wins.
No, he's like, as long as we don't have like another gauntlet style letdown, like where you're losing 4 or 5 games in a row. Because listen, I'm not getting ahead of myself, but if they do even have a couple 3 or 4 games against mediocre or lesser teams, this team could easily lose them as well. That's hockey for you. It's like the whole any given Sunday, it kind of works in hockey every day. Yeah, so it's very possible. So let me check this out. Looking forward, I just wanted to point out some interesting facts. But before I break out these facts for you, I want to mention to you that this is brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com. That's right, PhillySportsTrips.com. Many trips throughout the year. You got Phillies trips, all the away games for the Eagles once everything is announced. The big one, of course, is the trip to Brazil. The details aren't coming soon. They are now. They have the details. It's a whole week-long trip to South America. You got to check it out. So many trips, local trips, trips across the country, and even internationally. Check out PhillySportsTrips.com. They just got back from spring training. It's always a good time with PhillySportsTrips.com. And I want to hit some more of these comments. Past gauntlet letdown, my fault. Post gauntlet letdown. Yes. That is what he's saying. Like coming off, like if you win tomorrow and thinking go 3 and 1 in a tie, and just like feeling like sniffing yourself. I get what he's saying now. I'm looking at you, Sirianni. Take one game at a time. Look ahead to one game up next. Yeah, Bob, I agree with you. I'm not looking ahead, but this could have been like this week could have been the turning point. Like if they kind of missed the playoffs, you can look back at this week at that moment. If they went 0-4, like that's really where it hurt them. Yeah. Not just being if you went 0-4. Not just being 0-4 at that point and missing out on points that are well needed to keep these guys behind you, but also kind of like a psychological. Like you're going 0-4, and then you're going up against a lesser team. When you lose, it's kind of like a virus. It kind of sticks with you for a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. It's like doing a show weekly with Pat.
Yeah, virus.
Yeah, hour after you're done.
Yeah. Just don't feel right. But I just want to point to you, like, this is what was going on. So in the first two periods, Boston and Philly both had 13 shots on goal between two teams. Okay. When it came to the third period, they were able to stifle the Boston Bruins and kept them to 7. That means they did not have more than single-digit shots on goal every period. The most in one period was 7, and then 6. Flyers had 16 shots on goal, and just goes to show you, put that puck on net, things can happen. And like I said, there's a very big opportunity. They could have another 1 or 2 goals on top of what they had.
Listen, and it also says a lot too, because you look at the guys from that team. You look at guys like a David Pastrnak. You look at the guys like Brad Marchand, Charlie Coyle. The defenseman, McElroy, Charlie McElroy. These guys fire the puck. And, to hold them guys to 7 shots, 7, 7, and 6, I mean, that's pretty damn good for the Flyers, man. And, like I said, I think the Flyers, the fact that they only saw them a week ago, I think really helped them with this game. I think they knew what to expect, and they were like, okay. And they knew how close they were in that game a week ago. Like I said, that game, I felt if that game was 5 minutes longer, I think the Flyers win that game. So they just ran out of time last week.
Yeah, and Bob's saying this I agree with this statement right now. Great team defense, other than the second Bruins goal. Yeah, they were kind of caught a little sleep, a little nap in there, just kind of watching the puck bounce around while Boston was just moving it around on their own and where they wanted to do with it. Being down defensively and as the loss of defensive players that they've had over the last 6 weeks, Mike. Very big against a very strong offensively team that really is just, let's be honest, Boston, no matter what Philly team is, but this team, especially Bruins, Flyers, they get fits. They give us fits. I mean, you heard me. First time they beat Boston since 2021, man. October.
Dude, they haven't won in Boston since 2011, the season opener. So they're like 19-1.
Well, you got to break this. You got to break that trend somewhere. So hopefully this is that trend breaking moment. Philly teams last 3 years have done good job at picking you up when another team blows it. In this case, Flyers holding the fort while Sixers can't even hold their farts. I love Steve.
Well, I love Steve. You gotta. I mean, come on, man. Sixers they're trying.
No, they're trying and they're down. I know, Mike, you're one of those guys, but trade. This is what happens when you want to trade Embiid. But let's get to it. I want to jump on this real quick. Let's talk a little stars of the game.
Who came up? I just got one quick question. Who came up with that music for this?
Matty B.
I can tell because it sounds like porn music. Even from a guy from Mayfair to pick that as our
one of the Mayfair meatballs always come out with it. But hey, so stars of the game. And for those who are new to Edge of Philly Sports, we pick 3 Flyer stars. No matter if the Flyers lose by a lot, we pick 3 Flyer stars, and the most contributing Flyers in this situation. This one's pretty straightforward. Mike, I'll let you go first. If you want me to go first, you tell me.
Go first.
All right. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of crossover, at least 2 out of 3. Number 1, TK, 2 goals, 2 big goals, 2 important goals. And on top of it, hitting 30 goals on the year. And then Tyson Foerster, well, we talked about it like just all game long, but of course, putting that one main goal in, the one that counted the most, the one that put him over the top 3-2. Just playing his heart out today. And Sam Ersson, I mean, it has to be Sam Ersson. I mean, he stops on big goals. There was times they let up the puck, and this game could have been a lot different. The complexion of the game was set and stayed set by Sam Ersson because the defense let him down on that second goal. In the first goal, there was just some massive traffic, and there was Flyers all over the ice at that point and laying down on top of it. So,
no, I just want to tell you my notes real quick.
I told you it's going to be.
The only difference
hold on. I don't know if you can see mine or not.
No, you just disappeared.
Yeah, but it's just not the same guys, but it's in the same.
No, actually, I reversed it. You have Foerster as your number 2. I have Ersson.
No, I actually have Ersson. I just kind of run it out of line. I just run it out of line by accident.
Okay, so you have TK, Ersson, and then Foerster? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly how I have it written down. And like I said, you got to give TK the top star of the game. He has 2 goals. But, I kind of went back and forth with it. I kind of figured you would have went, Foerster, because he also had 2 points in the game. He had a goal and an assist. So I figured maybe you might go there. But I thought Eriksson, for the first 2 periods, I mean, it was 1-0 after 2 periods. And, I mean, granted, he didn't face a lot of shots, but he made some damn good saves, especially on JVR. He made 2 in one sequence. That was remarkable. And I felt like he had a really, really strong game. So
absolutely, 100%. I agree with you. So a couple of things I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here's your stat lines for the game. Like I said, shots on goal favored Flyers 29-20. Face-off percentage favored the Bruins 52.8% to the 47.2% of the Flyers. Power play goals 1 for 3 for the Flyers, 0 for 2 for the Bruins. Penalty minutes was 6 minutes for the Bruins, 4 for the Flyers. Hits were fairly even, 1 edging 40-39, giving Bruins the extra. Block shots 18-8. Flyers all over the ice on that one. 18-8 for the Flyers. Giveaways were 12 for the Flyers, 6 for the Bruins. And takeaways were 4 for the Flyers and 2 for Boston. And real quick, I'm going to go over your box scores for the Flyers. Like you said, Konecny had 2 points, 2 goals, 2 points. Lawton had 1 assist for the point. Poehling 1 assist for the point. Morgan Frost 1 assist for the point. Tyson Foerster 2 points, 1 assist, 1 goal. Owen Tippett with an assist. And, of course, Sam Ersson, he was 15 for 17. 2 for 2 on the power play. He's saving 18 of the 20 shots. And a total 900. He had a .900 on your save percentage. Played the entire game and played amazingly against a good Boston team. So it was what happens when you have good defense, because people keep asking. I think Matty B was even asking me when last time we did the show together, or maybe it was Pat, one of those Mayfair knuckleheads. They said, like, do you think Sam Ersson's the guy? I said, I don't know yet, but do I know that without having a good defense in front of him? That's a different story as well. Like, do we know anything about any goalie moving forward?
Right, exactly. I mean, can you imagine if we had guys like Ristolainen and Sealer and Trice? I'm speaking of that. You get these guys back in the lineup. The defense is going to be improved. My only thing with Risto is I think it's going to take – they're going to have to send him down to Lehigh and let him get in game shape to come back up here, because there's just no way.
It's only been like 3 years since he's played hockey, right?
Right. I mean, at least with Sealer and Drysdale, they can probably get ready and probably jump right back in. They're kind of already in game shape. But Ristolainen's been out forever, so.
And Steve's asking the update on Ristolainen and Sealer or Drysdale. Unfortunately, Steve, it's a bit of an annoyance with hockey in general with lower body injury, upper body injury. So that means the lower body injury can anything from a bruise on your hip to a leg snapped in half. So you don't know, a broken toe, hangnail, anything could be.
Lower body injury.
It's just day to day, they week to week, and no new updates at this point. Nothing of any real substance coming out of the locker room on that yet.
Well, Al, you ready to take a trip around the NHL?
Let's take that trip.
All righty, guys. Of course, the Flyers beat the Bruins today 3-2 right here in South Philadelphia. But there was another game going on as well. Up in Long Island, it was the New York Islanders doubling up the Winnipeg Jets 6-3. And the only other game that's going on right now, those St. Louis Blues, that's right, they have come back. They were actually down in this game 3-1 to Minnesota. They are now up 4-3 with about 6 minutes left to go in the third period. So there's your hockey for right now. But coming up later, we got some pretty good games. And if you're a Flyers fan, you might want to throw an eye at them later. Maybe if you're watching the tourney or whatnot. You have the Red Wings and Predators kicking things off around 5 o'clock today. You also have the Senators playing the Devils. Devils still kind of hanging around a little bit. Big one in Madison Square Garden tonight. You have the Florida Panthers, New York Rangers, 8 o'clock tonight. So, that's one you want to definitely take a look at. Another good game, too, on ESPN Plus as well. Oilers and Maple Leafs. With Toronto being right there, along with the Flyers. Then some games out west that you might want to take a look at tonight. You have Kings and Lightning at 10:40. If you ain't doing nothing on this Saturday night, you want to watch it. That's also on ESPN Plus. And that's about it. And one game for tomorrow that I want you guys, it'll actually be on 12:30. Those Winnipeg Jets go into Washington to take on the Capitals. Capitals right now 3 points behind the Flyers, so that will kick it off. Actually, at 12:30 tomorrow will be Jets and Capitals. So make sure you kind of watch that. It'll be a nice little warm up before Flyers Panthers tomorrow night.
Absolutely, and right now we're in the Metro, still in the third place with 81 points. Carolina at second place, 95 points. And the Rangers sitting in first place at 96 points. So those Rangers are going to play hard tonight because they are jockeying for that first position in the Metro against Carolina. And it's 1 point differential. But like you said, Washington at 77 points. The Red Wings at 78 points, Tampa at 82 points, Islanders at 75 points, Devils at 72 points, and the Sabres 71, and Pittsburgh at 69 points. So
yeah, I kind of love that.
You gotta like saying that, right? But that is about it today, guys. Thank you for joining us as always. I want to remind you that all these great sponsors, as always, are what make EOP possible, especially Sherry'sTickets.com with 10% off using that promo code EOP10. Cherry Injury Law, calling him at 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Philly Sports Trips, many trips. Go to phillysportstrips.com, but Brazil Trips, the one I'm always telling you about. And one of the newer sponsors to EOP, the Street Light Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel, PA, 19026. Holiday Inn and Suites at Drexel Brook Event Center. We will be there live for the Fighting's final pre- and post-game on April 7th. And also, I'd be remiss if I forgot to mention this, Dolan's, which EOP is officially going to be part of, calling this awesome event. Live stream this event May 25th. Dolan's Wiffle Ball Mania is back with Mickey Morandini, and this time he brings the Crucker himself, John Kruk. It is a great event at Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park, because it is, you don't pay to get in, you just pay to be part of some things, but it's a great atmosphere, tons of fans. It's very personal, intimate setting with these guys. They'll talk with you, they'll play with you, they'll wisecrack with you, trust me. Go to dolansbar.com if you want to check out some information on them, or follow them on all social media. You'll be seeing us there May 25th for Wiffle Ball Mania.
That's pretty darn good. I just want to give you a little heads up. Before we get off, I'm actually looking at the Capitals schedule coming up this week. I guess they have their version of the gauntlet coming because
Yes.
they have
They're 2 games more to play than we do left.
right, but they have Toronto. They have Winnipeg tomorrow at home. Detroit at home on Tuesday. They're at Toronto, Boston, and then they finish up. That's by next Saturday. So they're the 4 that they have going in. And if you're looking at this, you figure Winnipeg's one of the top teams. They got smoked today by the Islanders. So see what kind of legs they have coming out tomorrow. And then they have Detroit Tuesday, and then they're at Toronto on Thursday, and then they finish up with Boston next Saturday. Even though we have 2 games in hand on them this week, there's kind of a mini gauntlet for those guys. And like I said, it doesn't get any better like going into the next month. Like on the first, I think they play. I think they play Buffalo, and then Carolina. Like they have it sprinkled out, but their last 3 games are nuts. Now their last 3 games are Tampa Bay, Boston, and the Flyers. That's their last 3 games.
Yeah, that could be a big game. It could be a difference maker between making the playoffs and not. Top 2 wild card positions, like I said, is Tampa Bay at 82 with a little space there, and Detroit at 78. But the Capitals are 77 and the Islanders are 75. So a lot of parity can be happening in this month of April. So stay tuned to EOP Sports, EOPsports.com. Sign up for the newsletter. All the amazing shows on here, the great network, the articles, which will be coming out not too long after this one. And we'll be talking, keeping guys up to date on everything. So again, Mike, always a pleasure. Anything's better than yeah. We'll see each other early in the morning to be doing this all over again. And here is your lineup for the last game of this week, Sunday. The Panthers game will be the Mayfair Meatballs. That's right, Matty B and Patty B at it again. So
Patty B, that's great.
All right, so guys, I want to thank you and thank our great sponsors. A lot of great things coming here at EOP. We hope to have you here to see what's going to be happening. So, other than that, I'm Big Al.
I'm Big Mike.
And we are out of here.